Oh, this is Baruch. We're back again with the class of Sod. We're learning in Shaar haakudim, Perek Gimel, and it's my goal really to have one shiur every day, but it hasn't worked out for me so far. Traveling and moving. I just moved into Boca Raton and trying to get used to what's going on over here. So please bear with me, as it's my intention to put this out, make it accessible. Now, here we're talking about the oros that came out of the Tekkei. It came down, there were 10 oros, and the first one that came out was Malchus. It went all the way down to the end. We talked about the nature of the lights that were going into Malchus, and as Malchus gets further away, our bigger spheros come out, more light. Now, what are we talking about when we say spheros? We're talking about bundles of energy. We've already learned that there's two different types of bundles of energy. There's a pnimi bundle of energy and a makif bundle of energy. And as a result of different kinds of actions, we have also different aspects of the energy. We have an inside that is a kli, a vessel of the energy that holds the energy. And we have a vessel and it has an inside part and an outside part, a pnimi called a chitzon. So all these different things. So now as the light, everything is out of the Tekkei is really where we pick up our story, and the lights are starting to go back. This is an important idea in prayer in general, and because I've seen it in other places, I didn't really realize, is that as things get closer to God, as we become in Shabbos, it starts to be lifted up and so on and so forth, we start moving upwards. We move in tandem with everything that's up above us, just like you see here. It's like a train. It's going to go into some detail about what happens to the train, and the nature of it is that Malchus is going to start moving up. And as Malchus moves up, it's going to get closer to the Tekkei from which all of the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu radiates. And so as a result that it would bathe more in it, and as a result of that, it's lights that are interior to it, which were called Naranchi. There are 5 lights in the interior of Zav. They're called Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai, Yechida. So these 5 lights also have 2 lights that oppose them. There are really 5 of them, but we only have 2 that we could really deal with. There's a nefesh and ruach of makifim. There's 2 makifim. There's a makif chaya and a makif yechida. I can't remember which ones they are. We'll see. So at any rate, here we are in let's look at on page Mem Daled, if you have it. I'm thinking that maybe a good thing to do would be to take a picture of the pages. Take a picture of the pages and send them. I could do that. You could read along, even if you don't have the pages. So on page Mem Daled, which we will work on, the Rav begins, he says, that's where we're at right now. After that, we're up at the top. We're only reading the top part, and we're only reading the top part all the way through unto number Zion, which is on the next page. So the Chachma then was the next car on the train to go back into the Tekkei. So it also so then Bina would move up 1, 2. So it wasn't Chachma, now it's in Bina. And it gets a new light called the Yechida Apanimis. And now it has an entire Naranchi, Nefesh Ruach, Neshama Chai Yechida. All of these lights, obviously the Yechida is the brightest light, or is the biggest form of energy, bundle of energy. So this makif, it corresponds to the chai panimis. That's what happens with Zeranpin. But since Malchus is further down and the lights are coming further down, and she doesn't have as much light inside of herself in terms of the quality of the energy, but she has all the different types of energy all the way inside of her. That is the inside type energy. And on the outside, she already has 1 makif. She gets a higher level of makif, Asher Keneged Yechida Benimis, which corresponds to the Yechida that's on the inside. The Yechida, remember, it's one of the Neranchi. So v'achar kach olo hachesed shebezah b'makom hakeser. Then after that, the chesed of Zah went to the place of keser. Bina also the ma'azel, because Bina then went into the ma'azel and it's absorbed inside of the ma'azel. A lot of this is dealt with another Shaar in the chaim. Doesn't appear in the Otzrot chaim. It's called mati, Shaar mati, below mati. It's an aspect that actually it arrives, but it doesn't completely arrive. It's just an interesting idea. Anyway, just mentioning the names, the words. Then is added onto it a second makif, ha'elyon shekeneged yechida benimis, which corresponds to the yechida benimis. From that point on, Zah doesn't grow anymore. Because he doesn't get any more light. Why not? Once she gets all of her lights, that she has the 2 makifim and she has the 5 penimim, she's not going to get any more light. Let's see what he means. What's going on? So now we'll look on page Mem Hey. We'll look at number Vav. And number Vav, where it says, Achar kach olo hachesed shebezah b'makom hakesed. Then when chesed of Zah gets to that place, remember Zah has 6 different parts to him. Chesed Gevurah, Netzach, Chesed Gevurah, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod Yisod, those 6. Ki ha-bina, also the ma'atzel, because when bina goes back into the ma'atzel, etc. Let's go on. The Tiv says, after Keser and Chochma went into the Matzel, also Gam ha-bina el ha-matzel, bina goes back for perfection. Now, the reason why you think about this in terms of you're going to pray. You want to pray and you want to be swallowed into the Perek if you could. But if Malchus is at the bottom, you're way lower than that. But we need to move up the chain because the chain exists. But this Allah Chesed Shebezah Ad Makom Kli HaKeser, Chesed of Zah, that one part, goes up to the Kli of Keser. And when that happens, then Zah now has all the lights that he's going to get. He already has a Naranchi Panimi, and he has the Yechida and Chaya Makif. So it comes out like this: is as Chachma goes into the Ma'atzel, Malchus became completed. Shehem Naranchi Panimim, V'od Beis Makifim, which are called Chay Yechida. Ve'elu Hazan Nishlam B'kol Zayin B'chinosav, and so therefore Zah, he is completed in all of his 7 aspects, because he's also going to have a Naranchi Panimim and the Chay Yechida outside. Then outside is the wrong word. It's real. The word is surrounding. It's Makif. That also happens because as the chain moves up and Bina gets into the Perek, moving the Perek is ultimate yichud. Ultimate yichud. And there's a Perek in this world too. All the worlds. You could go from one world to the next world, to the next world, to the next world, just reaching for the Perek. Or Hazak shall Chesed b'makom Kli shall Keser. So all these things moved up. When Zah finally reaches the place that was the position of Keser, and I've had discussions about this with other people who are students of Kabbalah. What does it mean when it says that the Chesed of Zah moves up to the position of Keser? It means Keser is, of course it means a distance, because Keser is right next to the Perek. But it also means that the position itself has an energy level. So that when you get to that, there's a tremendous amount of energy generated at that level, whether or not Chesed is there or Keser is there. So by the time that Chesed gets there, now you could have a completion, as we can say, you're going to have a completion in Zah. So he said, so we see that everything has gone up 3 levels. Ki gimel spheres keser b'chochma bina, because that's why, because keser moved up, chochma moved up, and bina moved up. So everything moved up. Kvar all b'chazara el amatzel, they've already gone back into the pad ark. Ba'ata omed the yisod b'makom kli ha-teferes, and now you see the yisod is in the place of teferes. Remember, it's a train. It's a train. So if you look at the train, which starts from Keser and goes down to Malchus, you're going to see that as you move up 3, you're going to be in the place of, what do you say? Keser the Ma'atzel, also la Malchus the Makom Yisod, for Yisod all of the Makom Ahod, for Chesed all of the Makom Abina. In other words, each one moves up, so Chesed is right next to Bina, so it moves into that place. And each time that there's a movement of something up above it, everything moves in tandem, going up and down. Also, then the Chachma went to the Mazel. Also, the Bina, the Makom Keser, the Bina then moves up into Keser. Chesed, all of the Makom Chachma. And this is how everything goes up. Just imagine if you wanted just to write numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and took 1, 2, 3 and moved them up and see what happens to the other 10 that you have it written on the other side. So they're all going to have to move up. So he's repeating himself again, and he says, as Bina went up to the Matzel, Allah Chesed the Makom Chesed, and Chesed went to the place of Keser. But Yisod Omer b'Makom Teferes, and Yisod has gone up 3 notches to Teferes. Malchus b'Makom Netzach, and Malchus, which is below Yisod, is going to be one behind him. V'Kumosh Yizboyer be'Etz Chaim, as this is all explained in the Etz Chaim. But Pratos called Seder Chabidas Aspiros, a Pratiyos Shabazah, exactly where they are. This is a quote from the Hachaim. Was Allah or ha-chesed dezah b'makom ha-keser. So then what happens is that the or of chesed goes into the place of the kli, the place of the kli of keser. V'or ha-malchus b'makom netzach ad kan. It's just repeating. And v'mela nimsa shach yisod b'makom teferes. So we come like this, is that we see that yisod has reached teferes. And then this top makif comes on to Zah. When it's added onto him, Oz Nishlam Hazah Bekol Bechinosav, Narantke Benimim, V'chai V'yechida B'mekifim, so it's got a whole Narantke. Remember, Narantke is 5, right? Like the fingers of my hand. And then you have 2 on the outside. Chai Yechida. From that point on was not added to it any aspect that was in Zah. But Malchus, and then nothing is added brought back onto Malchus. They have all the light that they're ever going to get. Because all you can get out of this is a 7. You can get all the light that can be brought in is the light of Nefesh Ruach Neshama Chai Yechida, and Tumakifim Chai Yechida. Be'ez Aliyas HaChachma El HaMatzah, when Chachma goes to the Matzah, V'nimsa Shacham Malchus V'chazak Hem Shtei HaSfir V'Shashlom V'chol Gamre. So it comes out, therefore, we see that at this point, they are complete. Because remember that we're living in a world where we're always missing something. Here is a case that we're in a world where Zer Anpin and Malchus are not missing anything. Let's see what happens. This is they're already finished before they came back into the mouth of Ak. Now we'll start a new one. I'm going to try to do this like 20 minutes or so I'm going to start a new piece here. This is on page Mem Hey, and I am going to, with God's help, I'm going to send these things out through the WhatsApp, so that you'll have the pages, you'll be able to see. It may not be the world's greatest drawing, but you'll be able to see what we're talking about. Number Zion is V'ha'inyan hu b'hakdama acha shetzarik sheteda. So this, you have to know one basic fact here. V'hu ki harein is boyer la'elki b'b'kol b'china b'china b'kol oilam b'oilam b'kol parts of yeshbo eser spheres lo pachos v'lo yoser. So let's go over the words that he used. So the words are really important. It was right at the beginning of this book. And what goes on in Shaar haakudim is really in the panemius of everything. There's a little bit of vaguekeit in it, but it's a little bit more, but it's becoming more and more concrete. So let's see what let's go over his word. V'inyan hu b'hagdama ach shetzar t'teda v'hi v'huki harein is boyer la'el ki b'kol b'china b'china. Whatever aspect that you're talking about. What does he mean by aspects? But the world is a place of a kaleidoscope. You look from here, you look from there. That's panemius. B'kol olam b'olam, and there are different gradations of how close these things are in sequence to the padak. B'kol parts of the partsufim are systems of oros. In all of these things, yesh bo eser spheros lo pasa pachos v'lo yoser. There's different counting systems, and so maybe he's going to say it, I'm not sure. There are different counting systems, but basically, no, it's 10. 10 spheros. Keser to malchus. Hachaim, oros, panemium, asara. So he says like this, there are 10 lights, panemius, but oros, makifim, asara, and 10 lights, makifim, surrounding them. But when we talk about the panimim, we only talk about them in terms of 5. I used to say with Mordechai Shmuel, the 5 will get you 10. So these are because the partsufim, the systems that they work in, can be divided into 5. So he said we could take the 10 and put it into 5. So the 5, in other words, you take the 10 spheros, but they have to work in systems. So the systems, we see how the systems work. The systems are systems of 10 spheros, but there's only 5 systems per olam. Let's say, or 5 systems. So v'heim arich anpen, these are the names of the systems. One is called arich anpen. There's 10 spheros there. The other one is called Abba, 10 spheros there. Another one is called Ima, 10 spheros there. Then there's Za, the Nook. Now you're going to see that Nook for the female aspect, or Malchus, is always called Nook or Nook to Za. As you get more advanced in this, you see how they're actually really deeply, deeply related. But we have to understand the function and how things work, because what we're trying to do is make a better world through prayer. In order to do that, we have to understand the paths and the channels of the Eibishter. May his name be blessed. V'heim atzman ne'kroyim b'chidas chai yechida. They themselves are called by the name chai yechida, neshama, ruach, nefesh, shal klalos, kol olam. Let's go back over him again. So these things, again, Eric Anpen, for that is the first, that is Keser. Ava ve'ima, that's Bina, Chachma, and Bina. Zer Anpen, now that's the trunk of the body of that whatever goof we're talking about. The Nook and his female aspect. V'heim atzman ne'kroyim b'chinas chai yechida d'shama ruach nefesh shal klalos kol olam v'olam levado. So each one of them has oros. These are the names of oros, lights. So the first part is a system, and in the system there are lights. And they call the lights, particular lights can correspond to the system that you're in. So the highest system would be the system of Keser. Well, this could correspond very easily to the concept of Yechida. And then Chachma could be Chaya. And then Bina could be Neshama. Zer Anpin could be Ruach. And Malchus could be Nefesh. It's not that they are there, but they're in the lights within the systems, like that. So he said, V'chein al derek zeh b'kifim. So you're the same thing, system in Mekifim. Because they're 10 and they're organized in 5 parts. We're going to see this idea of the 5 systems, understand them, see what's going on. But right now we're in Olam, we're in a universe. This is a universe which is Benimi to us, which is going on all the time. But a lot of it has to do with our ability to be able to pray and remember that. The more sincere that we are in our praying, the closer we can come to God. Okay, thanks.